Just tell me again, how did you start One Piece?
I started One Piece with the bad 4Kids dub, where Sanji had the crazy Italian accent, and just watching Cartoon Network was like, what, seeing this kid Luffy talking about gum this, gum that text, I was like, all right, what, let me check it out. So just seeing like how funny it was, but like the actual action was pretty decent. I was like, let me give it a chance. So I checked out One Piece and just been a fan since, and that's probably like 2006 maybe.
So you got hooked right away, you say?
Yeah. I wouldn't say right away. I would say I was watching it off and on, and once I got to Arlong Park and I seen how serious the situation with Arlong and Nami was,
Mm.
that's what made me a fan.
Damn, it
So
took me some time to start One Piece because I just saw it from the outside. And the art style is a bit cartoony.
yeah,
I just couldn't, and I was like, I had a huge bias against it. I never tried it, even one episode, but I just okay. So this guy is doing gum gum, so he has a rubber power, and the only comparison was Mr. Fantastic. So I know you love comic books, and so you might love Reed Richard, but I don't know. As a younger kid, Reed Richard is not the most popular character, you know.
no,
So knowing that Luffy had that power, I was not interested at all. But yeah, one time I just decided, you know what? It's part of the big three. So what am I missing? I
yeah,
started it and I got hooked right away with Zoro versus Mihawk. This is when I was like, okay, I have to commit. But I didn't know if it was good material just yet. And as you said, after Arlong Park, that's when I was like, okay, this thing is special.
yeah. 'Cause I think like Arlong Park, that's when he came to be a little bit more serious because you start seeing like the racism between fishmen and humans. And I was like,
Hmm.
whoa, this is a anime talking about racism. I was like, wait a minute, let
Hmm.
me let me check this out. So I think Arlong Park for me is definitely what got me hooked. And that's funny because you're talking about being hooked and fishmen and fish hooks. Like, okay, yeah. I
Yeah,
think that's like the perfect arc, yeah.
it got dark real quick. I saw like a really good meme was this guy who's digging for some diamond, and you can see like there's an old guy who's walking the opposite direction, and he's like one dig from the diamond. Starting
Yeah,
One Piece is a little bit like that, until you get to Arlong Park, that's when you discover all the diamond. But if you give up too
yeah,
quick, like what can you do?
yeah, you gotta wait. And that's like Arlong Park was like what? I think 40 episodes in maybe? It was a good one because I think it was like Orange Village, Silver Village, and Barade, right?
I think it was 30 episodes in.
Yeah. And for a lot of people, 30 episodes is like pretty much the typical one season for any anime. So like, I gotta wait one
Mhm.
season for it to get good. So yeah, I get it.
For sure, for sure. But the question of the day, I think we talked about Arlong Park, but let's focus on current action right now in Wano. What do you think
Okay.
in regards to Kaido? Do you feel like he's losing this arc?
Yes. Do you want to like go deep into like how I think he's gonna lose?
Not how, but do you think he's losing?
Yeah, he has to because
Okay, he
Kyle's
has
upon
to.
him. He has to lose.
I'm agreeing with you. Okay, so now if he's losing, how do you see that happening?
Well, because Kyle's epithet is like always bet on Kyle. In a one-on-one fight, he always wins. I truly feel they have to jump him. It has to be. It has to be a mix between either like Luffy, Zoro, and Yamato. I think that's gonna be the mix. I think
Mm.
Yamato is gonna hold Kaido down. Somehow Zoro's gonna get held either with I'm guessing it's gonna be between Marco and Chopper
So you're
to help
confident
Zoro.
that Zoro's coming back?
Yes, because this is his arc. But even though he had two great feats, and since I feel Zoro is probably Oda's favorite character among besides Luffy, he's
Mm.
gonna like, you know what? I gotta give you one more good battle. So I truly feel Zoro's coming back.
It's not over, eh? It's like my hunger is not satisfied yet for him. Because as you
Yeah,
said, it's his arc, but at the same time, it's like there's a narrative there for him to fight Kaido alongside Luffy. I think it's as important for him to fight Kaido because how often do you hear Zoro saying like, "I'm gonna defeat this guy," or
yeah,
I'm gonna cut him"? It never happens. So I think that I wasn't too sure about it. A lot of people speculated that he may face against King, but Zoro has no time for the likes of King. No disrespect. I think King is
hmm
strong, but the fact that Luffy lost in the latest chapter, to me, that says that, okay, so now him and Zoro are in the same current state. They have to make a good comeback together.
yeah. And also, 'cause the only thing I can see if Zoro doesn't come back to fight Kaido, then I would like to see like a like a throwback to him and Sanji's debut back fight versus the Foxy Pirates. So I would love to
Hmm.
see like Sanji Zoro versus King Queen. I think that would be interesting fight because how King and Queen always going back and forth calling each other names and Sanji and Zoro
Hmm.
calling each other names to see who's the better like buddy duo. And I think Sanji Zoro, that's like the strongest buddy duo in
It's like classic One
all One
Piece,
Piece.
right?
Yeah,
We used to have Jabra and Kaku having that same dynamic. Same for Mr. One and Mr. Two. So that would be a good
exactly.
callback. I can't even lie. But I don't know if King loses against Zoro. Isn't that embarrassing? Like after everything that Zoro went through.
Yes and no, because well, he's the future greatest swordsman, future sword god.
For sure, for sure.
So it's like if you lose against Michael Jordan in basketball, it's like okay, I lose against Michael Jordan. He's the greatest. So it's not that bad.
I'd agree with you because oftentimes people like to just clown Pika and Monet. But think about what these guys could do. One had a snow fruit, and the other one was a walking building. And Zoro, he low diffed them, and they used that to say that these guys were trash. But were they really trash? Because Zoro coming out of the time skip was really, really strong. So how can we say that these guys are trash because they were low diffed by Zoro? So what you say there with King, it makes sense. If you lose against the GOAT, there's no shame in that.
Yeah, and also too, because when we found out that Kaido was saying that Zoro was pretty much using Conqueror's Haki, because he was saying Zoro was using Conqueror's Haki with Ashura. So Zoro Ashura is considered Conqueror's Haki, which means he had this way back when. So he was pretty much overpowering all his enemies. That's the reason why he never had to, you know, was fully pushed to his max. That's why he
Right.
always low diff people. So that's like having White Bear go against Monet or going against like Pika. You have someone as a top tier person, what do you think's gonna happen? You gonna make it right look
It's
like
it,
father.
it's not enough to scale Pika and Monet.
Yeah,
Not like makes
that's
sense.
what I feel.
But more specifically, you said that they were gonna jump Kaido. Do you feel like Kaido is dying, or what's gonna happen to him?
Um, see, it's hard because Kato wants to die in a glorious battle, and Oda
Hmm.
could turn around and give that to him. But then if he gets that glorious death, then that means Kato won in the end, right?
Yeah.
So and Oda likes to make sure that the antagonists are completely defeated. So he may turn around. But see, I can't really see them locking Kato up in jail unless they defeat Kyle, he's not killed, and then let's say like Oda want to throw like a monkey wrench at us, and it's like Black Bear, the rocks come in, they kill Kaido, and then Moria gets the
Hmm.
body. Because I still feel Moria's gonna get Kaido's body because they
Mm.
kept playing this whole storyline that Moria crew was defeated by Kyle. So what would be like
Damn,
just desserts for Moria?
that would be
Him getting
rough.
Kaido's body. So that's what I'm thinking. He's gonna get. I don't know. Like I said, it's he has to die. In my book, in
Hmm.
my headcanon, he has to die, but I
Like
don't know how it's gonna
I
happen.
know that Oda, he loves to not kill his enemy because he says that like leaving them alive with their dream broken is worse than death. But
Okay.
Kaido, Oda, like he kind of gave him some redeeming qualities, like the fact that he killed that old hag who tricked Oda, and there's some sort of appeal to Kaido in a way that I feel like once we get to his flashback, he's a character
Okay.
that we're gonna want to see him die. Like we're gonna want to see him accomplish his dream.
So you think Kai's gonna get a flashback?
Yeah, definitely. Especially like look how this is set up. Luffy is falling and Yamato is going up. So next thing we are gonna see is Kaido and Yamato face to face.
Okay.
So I think this would be if a flashback is gonna happen, it should be now, because there's
Yeah,
no
it's gonna be
protagonist.
time.
Kaido is going to be with his daughter, and we have to go through Yamato's lore. So whether it's Yamato or Kaido's flashback, if Yamato has a flashback, to me that's Kaido's flashback. But the fact that Big Mom had one, Doflamingo had one, a lot of villains that like really had no business having flashback did have them. So Kaido, the first Yonko that we are going to defeat, there's no way that Oda's gonna pass this opportunity.
Oh, that's you know what? Make a valid point with that. That's actually a good point because if you give him a flashback, he's pretty much a very one-dimensional character.
Hmm.
So you have to give him some kind of substance. Yeah.
You have to understand why, like, what's his obsession with death.
Yeah,
Or
because
that
even
flashback
by
may be
him.
like just a rock spirit flashback, and that could have some of Kaido's past in it. Who knows?
No, but that's why I can definitely see that. See, Rock Spiral's flashbacks would be cool to see like the old heads in their prime. That would be actually very nice. That I wouldn't mind watching
Did
or
you watch
reading. I
Bleach?
should say. Oh yeah, I love Bleach. Bleach is great.
Yeah, Bleach is the GOAT. But you remember Turn Back the Pendulum? Like the whole arc where we saw the Visors as captain?
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like something like that for One Piece would be great. Because we had the Oden thing was close to that, but it was focused on Oden. I feel like a general flashback that's not focused on anybody, but just revisit the old generation in their younger days. And then we could have some of the Rocks pirate like in there, more about Garp the hero, and that
Mhm.
fight. I want to see that fight that they had in God Valley, at least a little bit. Like give the anime something to work with. I know like Oda, that's not his style, but I would love to see like a little bit of that fight.
Nah, that would be great too. But see, the thing is, I know they said Oda wanted to try to finish One Piece up in 4 or 5 years. You think we have enough time for that?
Right. Do you believe he's
Nah,
gonna finish it in 5 years?
nah, I give him 7. I think
7.
he's because you know why? Because Oda's very detailed, and I can see him just like, you know what? I'm gonna make this short. He's gonna turn around, I'm gonna add this, I'm gonna add that. So I feel like
Mhm.
maybe 7 years.
Like
I
that
don't.
every character in
Mhm.
Elbaf and their mama is gonna have a backstory. Like
Yeah.
he just can't help it. So I cannot see it in 5 years. There's just so many storylines to wrap up. Like what do we have? We have the final war, Imusama, the revolutionaries, the whole deal with Mihawk, Blackbeard. What else?
Um,
Ancient weapons.
Lodestar, Lodestar. 'Cause I think Lodestar is gonna be Nami's arc. So I think
Mm.
Nami's gonna get an arc. Uh,
Yeah, Nami
perhaps
should get an arc for real.
yeah, 'cause I think like the original was it Straw Hats should definitely get like their own arc.
Mm.
And if one was Zoro's, then you need Usopp and you need Nami, and that right there is at least another 3 years in itself. And then the final battle, I figure it should be at least 2 years. So that's what I
Hmm.
said. I feel like it's gonna be six to
At the
seven
very least
years.
2 years. Yeah.
Because look, Wano right now is 2.5 years long. I think 2018 when it came
Hmm.
out, like, end of 2018. Yeah, it's almost 3 years now.
It's truly gonna feel like the end game once we're out of Wano. So I have a question for you. If Kaido dies, who do you think, or if he gets defeated, who do you think gets the final blow? Who do you think will be able to claim that victory? And if
I
so,
want to
how?
say I want to say Zoro, just for like as a
Hmm.
fanboy, just like Zoro. Not Asha. I want to do like a brand new attack,
Hmm.
but would it change the story that Zoro's considered like a murderer? So I don't know. Like,
Hmm.
what about you? Like, who you feel is gonna get like that final kill?
I have three theories. Those are the theories that I've written down. So, firstly, I think that like you, I would want to say Zoro. Like, if this
Hmm.
was Masashi, the guy who wrote Naruto, if it was
Hmm.
him, no doubt that Zoro could have got that dub because he was used to like share the glory between Naruto and Sasuke. But Oda is not used to that. So, if he were to give it to Zoro, I would be really, really surprised. So
Yeah.
first, I see Luffy doing it with the help of a Hawkins. So I don't know where it was said, but the word was that Hawkins had this one card that is able to give somebody 100% of their force, or like basically tapping into 100% of their potential for a short amount
Hmm.
of time. If Hawkins used that on Luffy, I think this would be a satisfying end to Kaido, a little bit like Nightmare Luffy. So Luffy would
Yeah.
tap in into a strength that he's not gonna have for the rest of the story. That's my first theory. The second would be something with Law and his final operation. Not really fleshed out, but because it's strange how Law's Devil Fruit work, and I cannot see Luffy becoming immortal. That would be kind of whack. And so
Hmm.
the last theory would be Zoro, as you said. I think that Zoro would have probably like they defeat Kaido and Luffy gets the glory, but Kaido is not like KO. He's just his will to
Hmm.
fight it like leaves his body, and he chooses Zoro to lend the final blow because somehow Zoro like reminds him of Oden. Zoro has Oden's sword, and Kaido kind of want to do justice to Oden, and so the counter argument would be like as you said, Zoro would become a murderer. But Wano had taken like such a dark twist, just
Yeah.
starting with the character of Hiyori. Like she's a prostitute. We've never heard of a prostitute in One Piece. So I
That's
think
true.
like the whole story just got so much mature. And Zoro, who was a pirate hunter before, he's a swordsman. To me, it wouldn't be considered like I don't think it would taint his character like that. It will for Luffy, but I think Zoro is in that perfect sweet middle where he's that
Yeah.
one straw hat with Robin that can kill, and it's not gonna taint their character.
That's beautiful. I actually like that how you put that. I actually like that a lot. That makes sense. Yeah, because you know what? Because you're right. Because one did turn to pretty dark, and then it's almost like well, Hunter x Hunter with the Ant arc. How it just turned a little more mature. Well, Ant arc turned a lot mature.
You know, Hunter x
Yeah.
Hunter, like I'm watching it right now. I just started.
Really?
I
Oh,
just finished the first arc where I have Killua who just left randomly.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's where I'm
Oh,
at. Because people have been telling me
nah.
about Hunter x Hunter, and I've never give it a shot. You know why? I never liked the character design of Gon. To me, he just looked like Vegeta,
Really?
and his the way his shorts were so short. I was like, "Yo, who's this Boy Scout?"
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
wasn't down for it. But I started thinking, and I was like, "This is not a good enough reason." I mean, One Piece I
yeah.
didn't fuck with at the beginning, so I give it a
Yeah.
shot, and so far it's still good. You know, I may be doing some blind reviews.
No, actually, and it's funny you said that because when I was my boy Shaq, he was watching Hunter x Hunter. He told me I should watch it. I didn't want to get into like another Pokemon like kitty show, and I was like, nah. Like you said, the same thing. He has big boots, small shorts, looking
Yeah.
kind of crazy. Didn't give it a chance, but then when it got to the Ant arc, my boy was like, "Yo, you definitely gotta watch it." And as I was watching it, I
Uh-huh.
started seeing Killua's character and just seeing how he's like a
Mhm.
straight assassin. I was like, "Wait a minute." They got a little kid killing people. I was like,
Mhm.
yeah, let me check this out. And then became a fan since. Like I said, I don't want to say too much because I don't want to spoil you, but it's a good watch.
I believe you because most people are vouching for it, you know, and they're putting it in the conversation with like all these big names. So, and the other thing is, I know that it's not gonna end. And it was kind
Hmm.
of a turn off. Like, why would I invest myself in a story that's not gonna end? Like, I can only
Yeah,
imagine you guys who are following it week to week. Like, you know, imagine One Piece doesn't end. Like, how would I feel? I don't even know. You know, investing 24 years of my life to this thing.
yeah. And then just suddenly it's just gone. It's like you lost a friend.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
that it's kind of rough. I mean, I heard the anime kind of wrapped it up.
yeah. Because the author Togashi, he's like he has back problems, and I think also they were saying something about he was like stuck playing Dragon Quest. So instead of him dropping like weekly chapters and like monthly
Mm,
chapters, now he's dropping like maybe 3 to 4 chapters per year. And now with the whole thing that went on with Kentaro Miura, the guy who did
mm,
Berserk and he died, a lot of fans is wondering like, will he be next? Because being a mangaka is very stressing. So it's like
yeah.
I don't want to rush them to like finish the story, but also at the same time, I don't want these people who made these beautiful stories that I grew up with
Hmm.
sacrificing their health for the
For
stories
sure.
and then like and they dying. So it's like you kind of stuck in the middle of like I want more story, but also I want these people to live like a healthy life. So
I
it's
feel
just
that.
it's just hard, man.